Right then, this is a walk around video, and this is for a Honda Civic 1.8 EX petrol. This is a manual car, 57 registered and with just 51,000 miles on the clock. The car's had just the one private owner from you, local chap to us, who's had the car serviced exclusively at the local Bristol Honda dealership. You can still see the original Bristol Honda plates on this car. Very high specification car. Obviously EX is top of the range anyway, so you get the sat nav and the usual bits on the car. But this one here is fitted with the big glass panoramic roof, electric blind, 18-inch alloy wheel upgrade as well. So it really is a fabulous car. Its condition is absolutely superb as well. But I'll go around the front for you. All the lights and lenses completely intact. There's no cracks in those at all. The bonnet is very clean. Hardly a stone chip of any note on there at all. I'm sure if you look hard enough you will find one, but you will have to look very hard indeed. Come around the near side of the car first. Absolutely smooth in the panel work, really original as well, which I love on this car. All the paintwork on the panels are just glorious. Front wing unmarked, alloys look really good. Looks like obviously they've been recently refurbished, but they're very nice indeed. And loads of tread on the tyres as well. Panel work incredible. To the rear alloy, to the front, blemish free. Back of the car. I do apologise, it's slightly windy today, so I do hope you're able to pick this up clearly. Back of the vehicle again, very clean and tidy, and treated with kid gloves this one. And then off side of the vehicle, as with the near side, it's like looking in the mirror in the panels. I mean, unbelievably clean. Go down the range of the panel work here, but as said, it's not to say there won't be the odd tiny little mark which either I've missed, not deliberately, but I do miss the odd one, I've got to be honest with you. But you know, what's on there is very small indeed. It's absolutely fantastic condition. And for a car that's now 11 years old, regardless of how low the mileage is, that car's in absolutely wonderful condition. So coming into the boot area now, absolutely enormous boots on these Civics, of course. 60/40 fold on the rear seats, but all the fabrics again, it's just been kept so well. You know, quite often you find these are sort of battered around the side, things are slidden out the whole time, but so the gentleman's kept this beautifully. He's also invested rather nicely in a proper spare wheel, because they normally come with an inflation kit, but that's a proper Honda accessory as well. Just coming into the back of the car now. Full set of original Honda mats in the car, again all in very nice condition. You can see here I've got the seats in their vertical position in the back. This forms what they call this magic seat affair. Just ingenious, it really is. So you end up with this huge amount of rear space if you want. They drop down, you just pull handle up, drop them down, simple as that. I'm not doing this with one hand trying to hold a camera, so it's not clumsy as I'm making it look. It really is just beautifully engineered, and the leatherwork, full black leather, is in absolutely super condition. Just going to the front now, just here the driver's passenger door card, again clean as a whistle. Footwell areas, all absolutely beautiful. And the front passenger seat there, hardly looks as it's ever been sat in. It's in absolutely beautiful original condition. Let's go to the front now, again all very nice. Only signs of wear you're going to expect to see is a tiny bit on the driver's mat there, which is clearly expected. Driver's seat again, it's the only one that's going to show any wear, but even that is absolutely minor. Given the age of the vehicle, it's absolutely fantastic condition. And then to look above here, got this lovely big panoramic roof, and then on sort of really bright sunny days, just press a button to close the blind across, and then flick it back open like that, all working absolutely perfectly. I'm sat inside the car now, just to pan around the dashboard for you. It is in, again, absolutely fantastic condition. It really is a repeated theme on this video, I'm afraid. Navigation working perfectly, air conditioning, climate control, all blowing out lovely cold air. All the plastics are in very good condition. And you've got heated seats on both seats there, all working exactly as they should as well. But even the little recesses and everything have been kept very, very nicely indeed. And they come across the main binnacle, my favourite part of the car, this two-tier dashboard. You can see they're all working absolutely perfectly. If I just pan in there for you, hopefully you can see that. 51,357 miles, and there's no warning lights in this vehicle at all. And you've got multifunction steering wheel with the audio controls top left, cruise control top right, and then information display on the bottom right there, and hands-free functions on the bottom left. But it is genuinely, it's a fabulous order in here. Just quickly show you, quite often overlooked actually, it's got the full owner's manual pack, and it's an original pouch there, and that incorporates both the car manual and also the navigation manual. Plus, very importantly, locking wheel nut key set is here and present with the car. So finally, just come under the engine bay, absolutely beautifully presented by Honda. Cam chain driven engines, of course, just a wonderful, wonderful engine. Sounds noisier when you sit here with the microphone, unfortunately, it just picks up everything. Very, very, very smooth engine indeed. What will follow this video will be a road test of this very car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda Civic 1.8 EX. This particular car is registered WR57VUM, and mileage at the start, lovely low mileage one, it's just on 51,350 miles. Reason for the road tests, as I say in all of our videos, very simply, is just that customers get to see the cars we're selling actually in operation. That way, if there's any issues on the car at all, we can and we do relay them back to you. We know it's incredibly frustrating to go and travel for many hours to go and see a car, only to find out that there's a fundamental problem with it, which you clearly should have been told about, so hence that's why we do it. It's also done on the very quiet country roads just outside our premises, so hopefully it will be representative of what you feel yourself when you drove the vehicle. Brief background to this car. I apologise if I'm repeating it, because the way the videos are edited, hopefully at some point a walk around video comes of this vehicle, which I tend to attach on later once it's all been cleaned. But it is quite an exceptional car, notwithstanding the specification of the vehicle, which is it's a very high spec anyway, EX, but to have all the other bits attached to it is a great find. But this car was bought locally, a chap in Bristol, and he's had the car from new, which is lovely. But what's even better is the fact that he's had every single service done every single year on the dot by the local Honda Bristol dealerships. So it is an exceptionally well looked after car, and to be brutally honest with you, it's immediately obvious. It feels so tight and crisp to drive. It really is. I mean, they're wonderful cars anyway, but when they're looked after like this, it really is a joy. Engine, of course, starts absolutely instantly. Push button start, so press the button, settles to a very smooth, totally even idle, but it's such a willing engine. It's very sweet sounding, lovely soundtrack to it. If you really extend them, you get the VTEC sort of snarl towards the end. It's not one of their hotter engines in that sense, but it still has a nice soundtrack to it. But just driving around at these speeds, it's so sweet in its nature, but it's quick to respond to the throttle, and it pulls with real vigour through the rev range. It really does. So I'm just waiting for this truck to come through. But the engine is absolutely spot on. There's no warning lights, of course, on the dashboard, relating to the engine or any other part of the car either. Temperature gauge, and the car's been driving for some time now, or running for some time certainly, running at a third, which is exactly where it should be on a Honda car. Engine then feeds through clutch and into gearbox. Clutches, bike point is exactly where it should be on a pedal travel. Bikes absolutely beautifully. There's no vibrations. It's not really relevant, or as relevant on the petrol as it is on diesel, but certainly it's it feels exactly as it should. clutch then goes through into the Honda 6-speed gearbox, which is, is a really, really lovely gearbox to use. Short in throw, easy to find your gears. All 6 of them, it's just a really slick, smooth, easy to use gearbox, which actually has, it feels like it's been designed by people who want you to enjoy using it, because it's such a lovely actuation. I can't feel anywhere in the gear change at all. It feels exactly as it should. Really is in fine order. So in terms of the powertrain of the vehicle, engine, clutch, gearbox, all exactly as it should be, which, as I said, given the history, comes as absolutely no surprise at all. Steering of the car tracks absolutely bullet straight. It really doesn't wander at all. There's no vibrations coming back to the steering wheel of the vehicle. It feels tight, crisp, taut in hand, and is a brilliant match for the chassis of the vehicle. It's very direct, but it'd be an awful thing to have if you had a really slack chassis which is sort of flopping around, whereas the Civics are, have a very highly regarded chassis. They're very quick to change direction, very little body roll. It's a very dynamic car, but driven like this, very comfortable indeed. What I'm looking for also on test drive, of course, is just any signs of wear underneath, and what that normally shows itself up on sort of used cars is where you can hear kind of metallic noises clattering away underneath, where you might have kind of like a drop link or an anti-roll bar link with a bit of wear in it, or something more serious. But there's nothing on this. It drives absolutely brilliantly well, really does. Also very, very quiet car, approaching the legal limit now, not far off, and it's all very subdued in here. And again, that suggests that all the door seals, window seals, sunroof seals are all in very good order, because there's virtually no wind noise in here that I can feel at all. Coming back to the powertrain of the vehicle, again, for those who don't know, Honda use cam chains on their engines, on this, certainly this vintage, so there's no cam belt services on them. I mean, they are an amazingly tough and reliable car. We've seen these with hundreds of thousands of miles, 200,000-300,000 miles even, still going strong on their original engines, just with normal servicing. So they're very tough beasts indeed. Looking around inside the car, it's in really lovely condition, as you'd expect. Very well built car, but just such a lovely place to sit and drive. It really is. All working absolutely beautifully. Sat nav, air conditioning throws out lovely cold air, because that was checked earlier this morning. But all the functions are working exactly as they should. But it's just sitting here. I mean, you've got a brilliant driving position, fantastically sized steering wheel. It's very sporty in feel, very nice to hold in hand, with sort of leather rimmed. But just got this. I mean, it's so interesting to sit here to look at a dashboard which has a real style to it, but not at the cost of function, because all the information I want to see on a regular basis is mounted nice and high. So your sat nav is up high, your speedo's right at the top, so you're not constantly having to crane your neck down to sort of take in basic information, take your eyes off the road, and it works fantastically well. I think it's a brilliant dashboard. But it absolutely comes alive at night, because it's when it's illuminated, it looks absolutely brilliant. It really does. Having said that, it's kind of each their own, because whilst I love it, some people will hate it, and I think that's a good thing, really. I like cars that polarise opinion, I really do. But I think the vast majority of people just do get this design. They really understand it. Cruise control all works exactly as it should as well. All the dashboard information's working exactly as it should. All the pixelation on all the readouts exactly as it's intended as well. So it really is. It's an exceptional car, not just for its, the way it drives as it was manufactured, but the way the chap has clearly loved it. He's absolutely loved this car. The point of the videos are to pick up on any issues, big, small or otherwise. I genuinely can't find a thing to report back on this car. It is
not just a good example of it, you know, one of these cars is an absolutely fantastic example. And whoever is genuinely lucky enough to be the next owner will be buying a, you know, a really, really nurtured car. It'd be hard pressed to find one as good. As I always say though, if I've managed to forget something on the videos, not by intent, I promise you that, you know, please do give us a call, and I'll happily answer any questions you might have about this car. But I hope the video has been of some use to you.